I know we're not able to actually test the K&N cars at the tracks that we race at. So we can maybe take like my super late model out to a road course and just get a little bit of practice. So it's not, going to be exactly the same as the K&N car, but it would still give me a little bit of practice. But no, there's not really a big allowance for testing.
So what got you started in the racing? Did your family race?
Yeah, my dad raced. He actually started racing motorcycles and motocross, and then moved up to stock cars, and he was running some ASA and some trucks. So I kind of just followed in his footsteps.
So who's the better driver?
Well, we never got to race against each other. So he quit before when I started racing, so we never got to race against each other. But I'd like to say we were both pretty good.
Why don't you settle it? Why don't you go ahead and settle on track?
So now you're moving to Charlotte, right? You're going to be down in Charlotte full time now?
Yeah, we're actually we bought a house in China Grove, so we'll be moving there next week. We close on the house and get all that taken care of, so we'll be permanently down here in North Carolina for the year.
Now, have you been to any of the K&N tracks? Have you been to any of those before?
I've raced a K&N car at Greenville Pickens before, and I actually just raced at the end of last year. I just raced our late model at New Smyrna, so I've got a little bit of experience, but not very many of the tracks I haven't been to.
Now, is there any of them that you're worried about, and is there any of them that you so far as think that you will have an advantage on, or that you're kind of looking forward to? You think that'll fit your style of driving?
I think New Smyrna will be a good race for me. The track time that I gained there with the late model, I think that'll be a good race, and I'll be pretty confident in that one. And also Columbus, Ohio. I've raced there a few times, so hopefully we can get the car dialed in there, and I know how to get around that track. But the road courses is gonna definitely be the tricky one for me.
Now what are your duties? I mean, I know with Rev Racing, what do you do besides the driving the car? I know they've got a lot of things for you to do there at Rev. I mean, I know you got to stay in shape and everything, but do you go out and help them work on the cars any?
Yeah, I mean, we're encouraged to be there. As much as our schedule allows us to be there, you're encouraged to be there. We work out with Coach on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays. And then you're encouraged to work out, any other day that you're there. You're welcome to do whatever you want. But he actually holds courses on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. So I've been doing that for 2 days now. So I'm a little bit sore getting into the swing of things. But, yeah, we're encouraged to work on the cars as much as we can and just be there and be around the crew and help out.
Now, was this your first time going to the combine?
No, I had actually attended the combine 2 years, a while back. I think it would have been 2010 and 11 maybe. Then we had taken some time off, and then I had went last year, and then this year that I got picked.
Now, how nerve-wracking is it doing that, sitting around with everybody you're competing against for, a few spots? At least 2/3 of you maybe are going away.
Yeah, I mean, it's really nerve-wracking because, you're sitting there with some of the best drivers, in the country, and, you all have the same experience level, and you're all very capable of driving those cars. So it's, whoever goes out there and proves the point and gives it their all and impresses the judges, I guess you can say, that's who's going to get the ride. So it's very nerve-wracking, and you just have to be on top of your game the whole time.
So what exactly does the combine entail?
The combine, it entailed a physical fitness portion where we went through, a course and we had like an overall time at the end of it, and we did like jump ropes and like a ladder rope and sit-ups and stuff like that, and you got timed at the end just to see, where you were at physically. And then there was also a media portion of it, and then the on-track portion.
Yeah, I got to meet you at the media portion down at the track when you were there, and that was a long day with everything going on there at the track because it took forever to get everybody a chance in their car.
Yeah, it did, and it's a long, exhausting day. Especially, I was pretty far down on the list too, so I was just kind of waiting and trying not to get too worked up and too anxious.
Now, would you rather go out in the car first, or in the beginning, or later in the day after everybody? So you kind of, I don't know if you can sort of figure out like what, after looking at what everybody else did, and kind of have an idea of what you need to do.
I don't really everything. So I think that the track is actually better if you go out first because it's nice and green and it's still cooler, because it's earlier in the day. So I think there's a little bit of a speed advantage if you go out, like first or second. But I don't think it really matters. Everybody has their own. You can't learn that much from watching the cars around the track. At least I personally can't as a driver. I'm one that has to be behind the wheel and do it for myself.
Now, who will be your crew chief this year over there? Have they already told you who that was, or
I'm sorry?
who's going to be your crew chief over at Rev this year?
Johnny Allen is actually going to be my crew chief.
Oh, that's pretty
So
good.
he's new over there at Rev. He actually just started yesterday. So and he's got a little bit of a background in super late model racing. So I'm pretty excited to get to work with him, and hopefully we click pretty well.
Now, how much time will you spend between now and the time the season starts with him talking, and also with Jefferson? Because Jefferson Hodges is probably one of the, as far as a crew chief and somebody that's been around racing for a long time, he probably has a lot of insight into a lot of these tracks you'll be going to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's going to be something, like I said, there's not really, an ability for us to test, but it's just going to be something, where we have the iRacing that's available to us there at the shop as well to practice, especially on the tracks that we've never been to. So that's a big plus. But, yeah, definitely just being around everybody and being knowledgeable about the cars and just, I think the more time you spend with people and the better relationship you build with them, the more success you're going to have.
All right, now the other people that was picked with you to be part of the Rev Racing, I think only one of them was there last year. So what is everybody going to be doing? Is everybody you going to have 2 or 3 K&N cars or what?
Yeah, there's actually 4 K&N cars, and then there's 2 late models.
Oh, okay. So will you get any time in the late model too, or are you just strictly going to be K&N?
Just strictly K&N.
Oh, okay.
Do you know who your spotter's going to be over there? Or does that change week to week?
I don't think we found that out yet.
We know a couple of the guys over there. Anthony does a lot of spotting over there. Anthony Warren.
Okay.
So I know it's a big deal and everything for you. So what between at the combine and all the things you did, what was the most stressful part of the combine as far as the physical agility, the driving the car, or the media? Which to you is the hardest part for you?
I don't know. I think they all kind of ranked right in there with each other, and there wasn't anything that I necessarily really struggled with, and especially going to the combine the year before, I was really prepared for everything, and I knew what to expect, so it was kind of, I prepared myself well before I got there this year. So I don't really think anything was, too hard. Stress-wise, I think, driving the car is obviously the hardest part. The physical fitness and the media is, just comes easy, but driving the car at the end of the day is what really matters, So I think stress-wise, driving the car was what I worry about most.
So where were you at when you found out that you were one of the ones that got picked?
I was actually at work. I worked at Arby's back home.
Okay. They got good
I was
fries.
actually at work, and my mom called freaking out, and she was like, "They called the house. You need to call this number." Blah, blah, blah. I was like, "Okay." So I was, I had to get out of work and go call back, and yeah, it was pretty exciting. I was in tears a little bit of excitement.
And how long was it before you told me you was leaving Arby's?
I think I told him a week later.
So who actually told you? Who called you and told you?
Christy Gormal actually called me and told me.
No, I don't know who that is. Oh.
Well, Allie, we appreciate your time tonight. Hopefully we'll get you back on here real soon. Go out and have a good year this year, and
Congratulations,
and
Sue.
congratulations to you. And we're gonna make a couple of the races this year and come out and see you and talk to you there.
All right, that sounds great. I just wanted to thank Max Siegel and Rev Racing and NASCAR Diversity for this chance, and thank you guys so much for having me on the show.
Well, we appreciate you
Thank
being
you.
here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Now, I think she was kind of at the end of the age group where she won't go make
Yeah.
it again. I think this was her last chance, probably.
It had to be, because I didn't know she was back in 2011. That's,
Imagine that, going from Arby's to...
well,
The
I
race
can't
game.
get from Arby's to
sometimes you got to do something just to be able to get in the race. And you
Oh,
gotta-
yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I will say, a lot of people think when you get selected at the combine that you do have a free ride, but you do not get a paycheck.
No.
You do need to get a job. and you got to contribute to the race team. Try to look for sponsorship, and they teach you those things, and they have people to help you work with those things. So a lot of people think that, you just got this ride, you get a paycheck, and you just move down to Charlotte. You have to move to Charlotte.
Yep, you have
That's
to be
one of the stipulations, and you got to provide your own home, your own stuff. So I mean, it's a big commitment. A lot of people think that you just got signed, that you got this, your worries are over. They're not.
No.
It's a great stepping stone to try to move forward.
And it was really interesting to be at the combine. I was being there this year when they did it. It was really interesting. I only got to be at the racetrack part. I didn't go to the other parts, but it was really interesting how they go about getting the cars ready for each individual person. I mean, not everybody's the same, so
Right.
but it's it's kind of hard to believe that Jay Beasley's not coming back next year.
Who did come back? What's his name?
Cabaret, Colin Cabaret.
Oh, that's right.
He got picked, didn't he?
Yeah, he got
Yeah.
picked back. He's back again, but I think he was one of the only ones that won a race last year.
Oh no! Well, won VIR subbing for Beasley.
Yeah, but that he wasn't a part of the.
No.
He was asked to come in and be a part of that. Sergio Pena.
Yeah,
he was asked to
Sergio.
be. He was asked to be in that car because he was a past Rev member, but he's not he's not a Rev driver.
Right.
So even though he won that race, I'm talking about the ones that are actually in there.
Which surprised me. I know when we talked to Jefferson, they have won multiple races, at least 2 races for the last 10 years.
Wow.
Which is
like
pretty
a good
big because
streak,
I mean,
And you don't have the same guys.
right, right. They keep very few people that are full time, and the rest of them come and go from pit crew members. All those guys are diversity program guys too, so they have a pit crew program also.
That's a great program to have there.
It's neat.
Well, you got several
And you
of
got Dion's the first member.
Yeah.
Um,
Dion was one. He was one of the first ones to come out of there,
Who else got in this
and
year?
now he's on.
Who else got in this year?
uh,
Think of who it was.
One of the Juan Garcia was one of them. And I can't think of the rest of them. No Colin Cabret's there. I think she's the only female this year.
Hannah Newhouse got it?
And
was that last
no,
year?
she did not.
Was
She
that-
didn't get it. She's going to be driving a late model out in the western states this year. But I'm not. I think she was the only female in the group this year. And I mean, you had people like Kenzie Rustin been there for 2 years.
yeah.
I mean, she didn't make it. Of course, our
I can't pronounce half of these people.
Hiro
Avila, Ruben Garcia, Colin Cabret, Enrique Baca, or Rocca, or whatever his name is, and another Juan Garcia. Or another Garcia, not over
Yeah.
there. Anyway. And she was the only female. So we know.
And these 2 are late model.
Oh, they are? Yeah, okay, yeah.
These
yeah.
are all K&N, it says.
So
K&Ns.
you got basically the whole new group except Colin Cabret. And of course, he won a race last year.
Dover.
Dover.
With no practice. And put a clinic on it, really.
And he's really a cool guy. We had a chance to talk with him.
And it's funny that although Jefferson was telling us that the year before he came and tried out, he didn't make it. He was, and his point was they don't just look for the fastest person because he was bad fast, but he was kind of out of control, and he needed to just sort of calm down a little bit. And he's proven himself, and I'm sure that's kind of what got him to come back for a second year. But he didn't make it his first year either.
And I mean, you look at 25 of them out there at the end. This time they came to Langley this year, and then they only took 6 people out of the 25, and that's not even including the ones that put in for it that didn't make it even to make it to Langley.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine how many entries they get.
But of course, Macy Causey was one of them, and she didn't make it this year, but I think she's going to be coming back next year.
70443.
Good afternoon and welcome to Jack Dodson's Racing Insider News. Is this Matt?
Yes, sir, it is.
How you doing, Matt? You got Jack Dodson and Scott Allen and Reese Nobles here tonight, and we appreciate you taking a little time to be with us. And I hear you got some big news coming up for your ARCA series this year.
Yes, sir, I do, and thanks for having me on. Greatly appreciate it anytime. We had a pretty good break here. This past December, a lot of stuff was developed, and about 2 weeks ago, it released. I'd be driving for Anvil and Menards, and driving the number 52 car for Kenny Schrader, which is it's a pretty cool experience. I'm pretty lucky to have the opportunity that I've been given.
Now, tell us a little bit about the Daytona test. Now, I understand you were pretty good at the Daytona test, so tell us a little bit about that.
Well, to start out, I didn't even realize until after the test. I only looked at the timesheet once, and when I did, I didn't really care what it said. Reason being, I have so much confidence in Bonnie Richardson, my new crew chief, the crew that we have, and the organization that Kenny has assembled, that I'm fortunate to be working with as great a people as I have. The test went very, very well. We didn't work on much drafting, speed. We were very, very happy with the car, the performance that it posted on the timesheet. So I'm definitely looking forward to headed back to Daytona here in about 2-3 weeks. It'll be exciting. I've always been excited at Daytona, but I've never been as excited as I am now.
Now, how did you settle on Schrader's place? I mean, is that somewhere that you wanted to go, or did they come to you?
Well, I got a phone call one night, and it was a 704 number. I don't know about everyone else. I get a lot of telemarketing calls from 704 area code. So I picked it up. I answered the phone as if I would any unknown number to the phone as well. Hello, this is Matt. The voice on the other end of the phone responds with, Matt, Kenny Schrader, how are you? And I was shocked. I was speechless. I literally pulled the phone away from my ear, smiled, big old grin on my face, put the phone back up. Mr. Schrader, not too bad. How are you this evening? And on it went. It was pretty neat. I've met Kenny once or twice before. Met him the first time in 2008. I raced against him. That would be my ARCA debut in Toledo, the Scott Speed, Ricky Stenhouse duo showdown.
I remember that one well.
Yeah, absolutely. So do I. It was interesting.
Well, we were at the shop Friday. We were down there at Kenny's shop Friday, so the cars are looking good. Everything is looking good. They got everything getting ready for you to head on out to Daytona, so I know you got to be excited. We spent a little time with Donnie Richardson and talked with him. So I know that you got some good people there and some good equipment.
Absolutely. Donnie's been around he's been winning races probably since the day I was born. Don't tell him I said that, because I don't want to make you feel old. I can work with him for the rest of the year, and hopefully years after. But I mean, he's great when it comes to the ARCA series and racing in general. You don't get much better than Donnie Richardson. I'm lucky to have him as a crew chief. So, but not only Donnie, but he's surrounded himself with a great group of people that work on the car, and I'm lucky. There's not many other words to describe it than fortunate and lucky. Some people have asked me, how does it feel? For the people that don't know, coming from small town America, Pennsylvania, I look back and say, why would anyone want some kid from Mansfield, Pennsylvania to drive their race car? Kenny Schrader specifically. And, I'm lucky. This is what hundreds and thousands of children, even adults across the United States and North America, that have any dreams and aspirations of being a race car driver. This is the experience that everyone wants, that everyone works so hard for, that a lot of people don't get to experience. So I'm not only excited for the performance, I'm excited for the experience, but the performance as well. Last year we performed very, very well for what we had. Brian did a great job, Brian Kozlowski, and to go out and compete the way that we did, pretty impressive. So this year, I can only imagine how well we will do, and all the expectations are set as winning.
And to come in this year in the situation you're in, and then to have a sponsor like Menards
Yeah.
to come in to be your sponsor after all these years that they've been with Kimmel, they came with you this year. That's got to be huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's that's part of having the opportunity that I've been given. Like I mentioned, so many people give the opportunities not only to drive for people like Kenny Schrader, but to also have a corporate sponsor. And they're not just simple corporations that not many people hear about. Anvil, for example, they're over $1 billion company a year, based out of Australia, with their protection products here in the United States are selling. Then you've got Menards. Mr. John Menard has been involved in motorsports for a long time, all the way back to the open wheel car days, Indy cars, and they're influential names, not only in business, but motorsports as well. And I couldn't be any luckier, or any more lucky to be sponsored by the two companies that I am, both Anvil and Menards.
Yes. So, Matt, how did you get started in the racing?
Well, I'm a second-generation driver. My father was a open-wheel modified driver from the Northeast, primarily New York, your New England states as well. And at the age of 4, I started racing quarter midgets in upstate New York. I then worked my way up towards short track racing regionally. Legends cars into SK modified, and then NASCAR Tour modified. I raced Tour modified, SK modified, 4 cylinders, on and off until 2008. And at that point in time is when I did my first race with the Keselowski family with Park Race at Toledo. From there, the past few years, I've raced quite a few different cars, from the ARCA Series, what is now the K&N Pro Series, Gabriel Truck Series, UARA late models, and super late models. And I love racing the ARCA cars. They're a lot of fun to drive. And yeah, so probably the hardest division I've ever driven, or most difficult race car I've ever driven, would be a late model stock, not a super late model.
So you were with the Keselowski group last year, or the last few years off and on. That had to be a big deal because the Keselowskis have been a part of ARCA racing for years. And now here you're driving for them. What are some of the things you take away from that experience?
A lot. Bob and Brian Keselowski, they can race just about anything that has wheels and an engine, and they can do it really well. They can show you how to do it with very limited budgets or with a funded budget. So you learn a lot. There's a lot of history lessons to be learned racing for the Keselowskis. Ron Keselowski, Uncle Ron, he's somewhat left out of the picture at times. People may not think of him when people think of Keselowski nowadays. They think of Brad and the success that he's had, which is completely understandable. But the amount of knowledge you learn on and off the track, it's impressive. From driving, setting up the cars, you more learn of there's modern day racing and there's old school racing, and you learn a good mix of both.
All right, when you look at the ARCA schedule this year, now, the ARCA schedule is one of those that has just a little bit of everything in their schedule. You got super speedways, you got the short tracks, and you've got dirt tracks, road courses. What are some of the things that you think you need to work on as far as all those different tracks?
Well, gotta work on the dirt tracks. Fortunately for me, though, I've got Kenny Schrader on my side.
Yeah.
He knows a little bit about dirt racing. So I'm lucky there. I'm actually very excited. Hopefully plan on running his air modified a couple times this year. Go have some fun with it. Also, short track racing. The short track racing. I got quite a bit of experience with it. Some comes from the late model world. I am very excited to get to New Jersey. I am, I have a pretty good shot at doing well in New Jersey. I love road course racing. I've been moderately successful with it throughout my racing career, so that should be good. A lot of it is competition on a week in and week out basis. You can be good at any of these tracks, but you've got stiff competition. Venerinis, Cunningham cars are very good. Kyle Weatherman, I really enjoy racing with him. And any race will be a challenge. Any race will be difficult no matter how good we are this year because of the competition.
You got that right. There's a lot of new talent coming into the ARCA series, and it's gonna be tough. You're gonna have a lot of competition to deal with. Now, you're gonna talk Kenny into letting you drive the truck up at Eldora?
Nope, that's his show. I'll go be his cheerleader. Yeah, I will most definitely go. I'll go be his cheerleader. I watched Brad Keselowski try and run Eldora last year. He didn't make out so hot.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go out there and try and set the world on fire.
Yeah, that's got to be a different type of thing with them trucks on that dirt up there.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, we appreciate your time tonight. We know you're a busy person getting ready for Daytona and everything. Hopefully, we'll get you back on here real soon after Daytona, and hopefully you'll have a great Daytona, and we can talk about that, and maybe even a big win.
Absolutely. Anytime you guys want to have me on, let me know. I'd be more than glad to come join you.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate it. And
Congratulations, too, man.
Yeah, and congratulations on all you got. You got a big deal there.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. Nice talking, and I will talk to you guys soon.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Talk to you later.
Yep. You as well. Have a good evening.
What a nice kid.
Yeah, it was nice.
I mean, he's had I know when I talked to Brian, I guess it was his last year, he was still trying to get a Sprint Cup car. He wanted to drive a Sprint Cup car. They were trying to get one of those together. And he kept building cars for this guy, kept getting cars for him to run. And he said, this guy's got some talent. And so.
Yeah, well, when Kenny Schrader calls you up, I mean, that's a pretty big nod.
I can't
And
imagine.
Menards?
Yeah, and it's really,
I mean, that's huge.
I mean, Frank Kimmel has had Menards on his car
For as long as I can remember.
years. And then, of course, this year, Kimmel doesn't even have a ride yet. So, I mean, then they jumped over to Kenny Schrader. And there's also some backing there from Federated Auto Parts. Federated Auto Parts is going to be involved in some of this.
Yeah,
So-
they've been a big backer of Schrader's for years.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, I think
And the other Kenny Wallace.
yeah, so I think that's the sponsor on the truck for Eldora is going to be Federated, because I think they sponsor him going up there every year.
And Donnie was really high on Matt when we were down there talking to him, and they're really excited about this year coming up. So it was neat to see.
Well, it looks like from the standpoint of that team, look at.
And they don't have a lot.
They don't have a lot, but now they've got a sponsor that can carry them just a little bit further.
And they have they have an alliance with with the team. I don't remember who the other team was.
I can't remember either. He said it.
But they're going to take care of those cars, set them up, and then send them to the team. The team will work with them from there, and then they will share information at the racetrack. And that's going to allow them to bring in some more qualified people to better what they have there at Schrader. But I was actually really impressed with what they do with what they got, because it's not a
big budget.
No, it's not. And they don't have a ton of big equipment. I mean, they got a couple lifts and a couple surface plates, and I guess a lot of it is from Donnie. I mean,
and you got more museum pieces in the shop than you got cars.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no.
It was very impressive to see what I'm like, they've been doing this out of here.
And then he said, and then he made the comment to you and me that, all right, here we are, we're going to do this with this other team, but we're not going to put that money back in the car. We're going to put that money in getting some people in here.
Right. Now we're not putting that. They're not going to take that money and pocket it. That's not what they're.
They want that money will help them get better people, and that's what they're after. And with Menards coming on and Ansel coming on, they may be a force when.
And the nice kid of Matt. I mean, he seems like he will represent the sponsors and team very well.
Yeah.
What do y'all think matters more, people or equipment?
Man, everything
Well, let me tell you
so
something.
much now.
Money will buy you the equipment, and money will buy you speed.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the people to do it with, it's not going to matter.
Yeah.
So you have to have the right people.
Yeah.
So that's just the way I see it. I mean, you can throw money at something all the time, and you're still not going to get anywhere if you don't have the people that know what to do.
And that's very true. And there's been several people that's come into the sport that spent. I was talking to Elliott Sadler's coach driver, and he originally, I can't remember if he came in the sport with a guy, but he came with a guy, and the guy spent in 1 year $15 million and left. Because he just he does. They just throw money at it, and they think that money. They just throw some money around, and it's going to buy them speed or buy them everything, and it's not. I mean, you got to have good people work for you. You can't just go hand Joe Blow a bunch of money and say, "Hey, let's assemble this team," because a lot of money gets wasted.
Yeah, and with those guys down there, and they also indirectly have a little bit of the motors don't come out of there, but they have a little bit of a thing with Hendrick Motorsports too, because Kenny Schrader and Mr. Hendrick are really big friends. So they
Chase drove for him for
Chase
for one
started,
season or 2 seasons.
1 season in ARCA. So he's still got he's got the connections there with Hendrick, so he could still use that.
But it's funny, all those chassis and stuff they got, they're all old.
Yeah, they're using an old COT chassis from a COT car. They're converting it over to an ARCA car to make for the ARCA series this year.
And they're taking a raising because the new bodies are bigger or taller, so they're raising the roof up on them 4 to 6 inches. So then they got to raise the windows, and it was kind of neat. I mean, you could see that one car. I mean, it looked kind of. I don't know how it was going to be fast, but I mean, they were building a new snout, and they build most of the.
They do all their
own fab on the chassis and stuff, and I think all the chassis are pretty much the same except 1 or 2. He said, I forget. They just do them all the same.
Where's your buddy at?
I don't know. He told me he'd be on at 7:45.
I didn't see any templates, but I'm sure they do. Well, the new bodies though are like a stamped body, kind of like all the new stuff is. It's basically the same. I think it's the same exact body that's on the K&N cars.
That's what they said. It was the same cars. The K&N car and the ARCA car are going to be the same. So it's really. But you just look at all the stuff they got there. I mean, you could tell there was some old stuff there, and he said they do the best they can with what they got.
But they do really well with it, though. That's the amazing thing to me.
And explaining the motor program and what they do with it, how they save money on the motor program. I did not know that they had a 3,000. What was it? 3,000 miles.
3,000 miles.
And
on
the car automatically goes back. The motor automatically goes back after 3,000 miles. But you keep that car, and they have a tuner that comes with it, and the tuner. Well, it's not a Hendrick. It's not Hendrick. This is
no. I forget. I can't remember the. Penske owns part of the program.
It's a complete motor program other than.
Yeah.
In other words, all the motors are the same.
Yeah,
all the motors are the same.
Come from everybody gets the same motors.
52 car always done well.
Yeah.
On speedways.
Yeah.
On speedways. It's not a big car in some of the other places, except when Schrader was driving it.
Yeah, I was surprised at the budget though. I thought the budget would be closer to a K&N car. Wise for ARCA, but it's about twice as much. or maybe not quite twice as much. An average budget is about 1.2 million for an ARCA, and the K&N's like 750.
Well, while we're waiting on Grayson to see if he's going to call or not, we can go back and look at some of the news from this week. JD Motorsports introduced their drivers for the. We had Johnny Davis on last week. He didn't say anything last week, but he's introduced his drivers for this year. Ryan Priest is going to be in the 01
with some affiliation with Tommy
Baldwin
Racing.
Baldwin Racing. Ross Chastain will be in the other full-time car. Then they will have a part-time car, the 0 car, that will be
Landon Castle.
no Eric McClure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eric McClure will be in there. Landon Castle is not going to be in one of the cars this year, which I thought was kind of interesting. And then, of course, it was official yesterday. David Reagan and Matt DiBenedetto is going to be back with BK Racing for next year.
Full time.
Yep, they're full-time cars.
So I'm glad to see Matt back.
Yeah.
I honestly think Matt did an exceptional job for no more experience and no more. I think he excelled more than the other two teams, in my opinion, at BK Racing, and I think he deserved another full-time deal.
How about how TBR did Alex Bowman by letting him know via Twitter?
Well, I don't know if they just let him know via Twitter.
Well, that's what he said, at least. Is that he found out via Twitter?
But I think he got a learning lesson out of it. You don't pronounce to the world that you have a deal for next year if you haven't signed a contract. There was no contract signed, and that's where nothing is done until the ink dries on the paper.
Yeah.
I don't care where you at.
And you got to know.
I mean, he's a good kid, and I hate it for him.
And you got to know that if the opportunity was there for Tommy Baldwin to get a guy like Regan Smith,
Right.
even though Alex Bowman was his driver last year and had some good runs, but to pull a guy like Regan Smith, he's won a cup race, he's won
2 cup races, I think.
I thought he only won one.
Maybe it's just the one.
He won one. He won one.
Darlington.
And then he almost won one at Talladega, but they told him he didn't do it because he went under the line.
Yeah. He should have won. Yeah, Tony Stewart ended up getting the trophy.
And he won
here we go.
There we go.
Call from 503.
Good afternoon and welcome to Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News. Is this Grayson?
Yes, sir. Sorry for being late. I was driving, and I didn't think it would be safe for me to talk and drive.
No, we don't want you to do that. We don't want you to drive and do that either because that's not good.
Come on, man. I've seen him wheel before. He's pretty good. He can wheel with one hand.
He can do both. He can do both.
Now, I got myself, Jack Dodson, here along with Scott Allen, and then we got this other guy down here on the end that you might know a little bit about, Reese Nobles.
He was cute last week.
Oh, God. Not this again.
I heard you and him had a little bet.
What was that?
You and him had a bet last week?
Yeah, we did. About the Trailblazers and the Wizards playing. So I'm glad I got the W on that one.
So what have you got in line for 2016 this year? What you got going on?
I just got right now it's just the West for sure. Running the full West schedule again. We want to get some bigger track stuff, if that's truck, ARCA, whatever. We're just, working on funding for that. But it's just, just continuing to grow as a driver and work with JPR. The guys there are extremely instrumental to my success. So just, continue developing and just racing as much as possible, whatever the funding allows.
So how did you get started in the racing?
I started when I was 6 years old. I took my first lap in a quarter midget. So, where Ryan Newman, Jeff Gordon, and Labontes and all them came from. So, kind of came from a familiar, just, doing the left turns. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I don't think my parents did either. But they, it was kind of, they didn't expect me to even be interested into it, to be honest. So I took my first laps, and then I got hooked, and, now we're here. So, just been taking the steps of racing. Went from a quarter midget to a 4-cylinder late model, and then quickly transitioned to a super late model. And then we got in front of Jeff Jefferson and Bill McAnally, and that set my first opportunity for K&N West.
Now, talking about last year of the Cannon Series and Noah Gragson, how was that? Can you hear me?
Oh, what was that? Sorry, you were cutting out a little bit.
Sorry about that. Talking about last year in the Cannon Series of Noah Gragson, how'd that go?
Yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. I didn't really know him at all. Actually, I never even heard his name before I was told he was going to be my teammate. Noah was extremely helpful for me because I never was able to really talk to a driver that had was as invested into my success as he was. I mean, he was just such a great teammate. He never held anything back from me. We always were able to talk to each other and be completely honest. I mean, if at Roseville, when I picked up my first W and he had an awful night that pretty much ended his championship run, he was down in victory lane with a big smile on his face, giving me a hug. I mean, I've never had that much support from a fellow driver, and it was really, really cool to see him develop and see us develop as a team. It was really nice working with him.
So who are you driving for this year?
Jefferson Fitz Racing. I'll be teammates with Noah again.
Oh, you'll be back with the same team.
Yes.
All right, now I'm going to ask you a question. Now this is a loaded question.
No, Lord.
So I found out through the grapevine. Well, no, I ain't going to even say through the grapevine. I just found out about it. That you are good friends with Hannah Newhouse, if that's the way I can put it.
Oh.
So is there any truth to that?
Yeah, there's a lot to that.
Okay. Okay, that's all I just want to make sure.
For the past few months. So.
Okay, I just want to make sure because I didn't want to, go somewhere I wasn't supposed to. Now, who's the better driver, you or her?
Well, I'm not going to say anything, but she hasn't beaten me yet.
I mean, he has the win. He has the Cannon win.
I'll just let the stats speak for themselves. And that's she almost got me. We went go-kart racing in Phoenix, and before we got kicked off the track, we were going at it. Oh, it was Vegas that we were go-karting, and we were going at it really hard. I mean, we were within a couple thousand, so she's definitely a very talented racer, and we support each other like no other. And it's kind of funny because we're one of the few cars with colleges on our hoods, so it's kind of fun to have a little rivalry. Me and her are both very competitive, but at the end of the day, me and her are best of friends off the track.
Yeah, I met her when she came down for the combine, and
right.
And we've had her on the show and everything, but I didn't know about that. So when I get her back on there, I want to hear what she's going to say about you.
Hey, we will definitely get something stirred up.
Oh, yeah. We know
she's got a very competitive spirit, so that won't take too much.
So why did you get kicked off the go-kart track in Las Vegas or Phoenix? Sorry.
What was that?
Why'd you get kicked off of the go-kart track? What did you do?
They said we were driving too rough and that we needed to learn how to drive.
Well, that was really good.
Did you tell them fancy?
Yeah, that was, we had Noah there, Mason Mitchell, and a couple other go-karting friends. So we were being a little bit more aggressive with each other than if it was our stuff, but
Well, of course, that's the whole fun.
We were having a blast. We got our money's worth. I don't think they did, but we did.
So when you got started in racing, now was your family into racing, or are you like the first generation?
I'm actually first generation, but my dad loved to watch racing, but he never competed anything like that. My grandpa loves to joke with me, saying that he never raced legally, but he loves it. So there's always kind of been racing in my blood. My family's always been super competitive, but I used to watch the IndyCar stuff when they came out to Portland International Raceway. I knew most of the NASCAR drivers by name by the age of 3. So, I was watching it all the time. I studied it. It was just something that kind of, it's just my cup of tea, I guess.
So what was your first car number?
My first what?
Car number or go-kart number.
15. I wasn't in quarter midgets. We didn't have car numbers necessarily. If I was going to have one, it would have been 24 for Jeff Gordon. He was my hero, and Jimmy Johnson then became my favorite driver. But it's just, I've always loved those two guys. They've always been the guys that I want to model myself after on and off the track and how they carry themselves. So if I was going to have my first number in quarter midget, that's probably what it would have been. But when I went to go race my four-cylinder race car, both those numbers were taken. So I decided to pick my third best, I guess.
Now, a lot of people say that if you're going to be in the sport of racing, you've got to be back here in Carolina and get yourself in it and be a part of it around here. Are there any thoughts of you coming to Carolina and trying to find a ride here and whatever?
I don't know. I love Carolina. I was just there for the banquet, and I just had a heck of a time there. But I think there's a lot of truth to that. North Carolina, Virginia, in the Virginia area is extremely. It's obviously the hub of racing. There's no two ways around it. We're trying our best out here in the Northwest to, make something happen. There's not a whole lot of Northwest drivers that you really hear about anymore. And if you do hear someone from the West Coast, from California, so I'm trying to help the Oregon drivers get a little bit more notice, but eventually I do see myself moving back there. I can't put a time on that, but I love racing so much. I want to have it around my life. So moving back there, I think would be a big plus for me, just in general. Not necessarily just trying to find a ride, but I think it just, that lifestyle over there is kind of what I love.
Now, you run a couple companion events with the K&N East cars. Tell me what you think. I've asked this question to a couple of people. What is your conclusion, or what do you think are the differences between the K&N East and the K&N West? It just seems like there's a little bit of a difference there somewhere.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference. There's no two ways around it. You could see it when they came to Phoenix. It's very strange for me, and even Noah for that fact, we really aren't that bad on big tracks. Our programs are not that far off. But when just a little bit of bad luck for us, me and Noah both, it's just kind of hard to get the big results like these guys are. But there's definitely a difference. You can see it right off the gate. Todd Gillen, when he comes with a KBM, PM on a car or whatever, it's hard to beat that. It's hard to beat those H-Scott guys on where they are, But I can guarantee it. When those drivers come over here or whatever and run some West stuff, we're right there with them. So I can't say if we're in equal equipment we do better, but I know the West program's definitely been stepping their game up, and they really showcased that at the Combine event. But I do know that being in the hub of racing kind of gives them a little bit more of an edge.
Yeah, technology moves around so quickly, and you're talking about H. Scott Motorsports with Justin Marks. Those guys are the Rick Hendrick Motorsports of the K&N East.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. It's hard to compete with those guys, but, it's not impossible. I know that next year Noah and I are definitely going to be showcasing that.
Now, you said you wanted to try to do some ARCA or whatever. What are do you have any irons, anything out there for that, or is it just something you're hoping to get done?
We have a few ties. I'm very close with Mason Mitchell Motorsports. I hang out with Mason and text him, and we chat all the time. So I have a very good friendship with him. They have obviously an extremely good program. It's very well put together, very professional, and it's winning stuff. So I got that. I've been offered rides from Lyra Motorsports. So it's I definitely have some connections to the ARCAs that I can definitely take advantage of. But it's it all comes down to funding. That's the hardest part, because I'd love to go take these opportunities and get behind some of these cars. Heck, I can go run one of my K&N cars now that the rules have opened up. We just need to change a few things in our car. So I don't know if that's something Jake and I would be looking into or not, but then again, it comes back to funding for us. So it's hard to commit to something like that, but we definitely do have some good connections. to go into the bigger tracks, and we look forward to hopefully being able to use those.
Well, we appreciate your time tonight. I'm sorry you have to know Reese Nobles. Some people have to. That's a cross they have to bear. Yeah, we got to deal with it too. So.
That sounds good. Well, thank you very much for having me on.
Well, we appreciate your time, and hopefully we'll get you back on here real soon and hear about some wins out there on the West Coast with the K&N West. And
we plan on it.
And hopefully Hannah won't beat you to any this year either.
I won't let it happen, so she's got to really work for that.
Okay, well, I'm going to get her back on the show again. I want you to know that I'm going to ask her these questions.
We need both of them on the same night.
That's okay.
All right, man.
Competitive enough, so we respect each other enough.
All right, man. Well, we'll talk to you later. We appreciate your time tonight, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you, guys.
All right, man. Later.
Bye.
I always wonder how this relationship works in racing. You know, Stenhouse, Patrick, him, and Newhouse. If you're coming around turn 4 and you're both side by side, do you round your cage to get the win?
I'm gonna tell you this like this.
I'd wreck my mom for the win.
I'm gonna tell you like this. If you got any racer in you, it's not gonna matter.
I think you almost want to beat them even more.
Yeah, well, I thought that. Yeah.
You know, I think. I mean, I don't think anybody, for the most part, is just going to let somebody else win.
Yeah.
Because two things. One, I don't want to win a race like that.
Yeah. No.
I want to win it. I don't want to win it because somebody took a little easy on me.
I thought Donnie Alex did it. That's his day again. That last
You doing Davey?
Davey.
day.
I don't
I kind of.
I don't know if that you would let somebody win. Now, I mean, I could see if it's for second and there's some points or something like that. I could do that.
I can't see it looking good if Stenhouse spun Danica last lap for a win. I don't think it'll look good in the press. I'm sure it'll look good for Stenhouse winning the race because he needs it.
I don't think you want to wreck them. I mean, you don't want to spin somebody out for the win, especially somebody that you know that you're friends with.
Now we got Grayson and Hannah that we can. You
Stir
remember,
something
you remember
up.
we stirred up the Daniel Hemrick and Kinsey Russell thing?
Yeah.
You know, I'm the better driver. I'm the better driver.
We need both of them on the same night. Back to back.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're not separated.
You gotta,
They'll talk trash.
Grayson is wherever he is. She's at Boise State.
Oh yeah.
So they're not side by side with each other. So if you get him saying what he did tonight, and he was politically correct, but
He put a jab in there.
so I think you look at that, then you get her on here and say,
Oh, really?
I want to see a two of them on dirt, just dueling out. I just want to see a two of them on dirt.
well, you're past all that now. I don't think that's gonna happen, but
I wish it would.
Yeah, but I think if you were racing somebody that you dated, I don't think you would definitely not want to wreck them.
well, I'll tell you like this.
I mean, you would make them earn it, and that would be fun.
Yeah.
I'll tell you like this. If it came down to the last lap and Danica had a chance to pump Stenhouse,
I think she would.
She'd do it.
Oh yeah.
I don't
And
know.
probably be cheered when she done it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't think Stenhouse would though.
I'm
He better not.
I'm interested to see the first male driver that gets really frustrated with Danica.
Where you been?
Yeah.
I mean, no, like physically frustrated. Like I don't think it would get that far.
Yeah, but she's had a couple physical confrontations
I
with some
remember Denny
drivers.
Hamlin last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say Denny Hamlin. Now they did mention, and I didn't finish watching it. The race hub. You know, this year we got several drivers that are coming up on a contract year.
Oh yeah.
Denny Hamlin being one of them.
Is he?
And I'm really curious if what's going to happen to Denny. Is he going to stay, or is he going go somewhere else because you got a big hot shoe that's chomping at the bit to be in Cup, and he's going to be in Cup. Coach Gibbs has already done said he's going to be in Cup. Now, is it going to be in one of his cars?
Who?
Denny?
Oh, he's had surgery, but he's back. I mean,
Yeah.
But
And then, where would he go? But you have Ryan Newman's on a contract year.
Casey Kane's on a contract.
Casey Kane's on a contract year. And Casey Kane better step up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And any of them crew chiefs over there, except Chad, they better be on their game too, because there's somebody nipping at their heels too.
So it'll be interesting because I could see all three of them going somewhere else.
Well, there was a lot of talk last year because of the Eric Jones thing. Denny was going somewhere, and I think the sponsors kind of played a part in this.
Well, I think Denny was fighting for his job because I heard him make the statement a few times. He wants to stay at Gibbs, and it just sounded like, I don't want to go anywhere. But I'll be
they're
very
trying to get rid
curious.
of me.
Well,
That's kind of what the feel is. So it'll be
I think
interesting.
Eric Jones is great. I think he'd be great.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. That kid is.
Personality sometimes is a little.
But he drives like he's got.
He drives
Like
like
he's
a
been
bad
done
health.
it for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's not that he's got raw talent, but he's calm.
He's got a lot of. Well, if you look at it, he's got a lot of Matt Kenseth in him
Yeah.
as far as the way he drives.
Yeah.
He has that same
Mentality.
mentality
Yeah.
as a Matt Kenseth. He doesn't get too riled up,
But
if
when he
does
does-
when he does get riled up, he'll run over you.
Now, what about? Did you hear the little statement where Coach Gibb borrowed Matt Kenseth's airplane and took like 8 people to the Redskins?
More than that.
Or 12.
It was 18 people.
18 people to the
Redskins playoff game.
playoff games to play against
Packers.
the Packers, and didn't invite Matt Kenseth.
He took Kenseth.
He said, "I won't go and bill him until he didn't invite me."
He took Kenseth's plane. Kenseth is a Packers fan.
Big Packers fan.
But Joe Gibbs took his plane with 18 people to go to the Redskins-Packers game. Didn't invite Kenseth.
Didn't save him a seat on the plane.
I had not heard about that till right now. I like William Byron also.
Yeah.
That kid's real good.
Yeah, he is.
I just think sometimes when Eric doesn't win, he gets a little.
Well,
But that could be just him being competitive.
that's
I'm sure that's what it is.
yeah.
Well, we'll see what Byron's got this year. He's gonna be at KBM, and he's gonna have to show some stuff.
And he did well last year, but I mean, he was in top-notch equipment.
But
But it was Cannon East Series.
Yeah, but he was at Turner Scott.
and I think Ben Rhodes over at Thor Sport this year. I think that's gonna be a good team. We got Kevin Bellacourt as the crew chief, and our buddy Dave Adams is going to be the car chief on that truck chief, whatever.
That still was a surprise for Duflaci to leave that team and then him go. I mean, that was. I don't know if they just wanted change because he'd been there forever.
Well, Duflaci.
Whatever I can't even think of.
Duflaci. We're sitting there. There's people probably sitting there going, I don't know no guy named Duflaci.
That's whoever you wanted to be. Hey, we used to have a name we call if we didn't know who your name was or what, we called everybody Lugnut at when we had the late model team. And finally, one of the guys that come over and started helping us, he said, "Hey, who's Lugnut?" It's like everybody's Lugnut. We're like, "Hey, Lugnut, let's continue."
Yeah, let's get away from the Lugnut thing here because now
you got a different
now it has a whole new car. It means something all different now.
I like Grant Enfinger of GMS also in Truck Series.
Who?
He's pretty good.
Grant Enfinger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If he didn't have to drive around Spencer Gallagher, he'd be all right. I'm not a Spencer Gallagher fan because
Neither am I.
he talks too much trash. I don't like him.
I'm not a John West Townley fan either.
I'm not a John West Townley fan either. I don't. John West Townley, he's a race car driver. That's all I'm gonna say.
That is a crash fest.
He did win a race. I gotta give the devil his due.
He won a race, but
Look.
JD McDermott.
Everybody sits back and says, what lap is John West Talent going to wreck on?
I have a pool for it. I had a pool last year and I grew it.
And he came to Southern National in a late model,
I was not there.
and they beat that thing all to pieces. It was one of Charlie Daniels' cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it beat that thing all to pieces.
Isn't his dad the guy who owns Zaxby's?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why he keeps a ride.
I wasn't going to say it. But
That's why Zaxby's is on their car all the time.
I wasn't going to say it.
Okay. Well, I said it. I mean,
I'd say, yeah. I mean, I agree with both of you. You do gotta give the devil his due. He did win a race,
Yeah.
and that is an accomplishment.
But Derek Cope won the 500 once also.
I will take the win.
I'll take it when I can get.
Yeah. So
I got so many ways I could go with this right now, but I'm going to keep it. So, anyway, great show tonight. We'll be back next week. Next week we got
maybe.
You know something I don't know? Got Julia Landauer coming on next week. She is going to be driving for Bill McAnally on the K&N West Series. She also was on Survivor. So we're
Now, how far did she get on Survivor? Do we know?
I don't know. I haven't
I'll
looked.
look it up for next week.
Yeah, I haven't watched Survivor since like the first few.
I've never watched it, period.
So far, I know Joey Gattina is going to be with us next week.
He's for Jet Motorsports in the ARCA series.
Yep, he got
Yep.
and he.
That's not affiliated with Brad Kalowski.
Yes,
right?
we know this. We know this now.
So he's going to be with us next week.
Brian Kalowski.
And then I don't have anybody else right yet.
We should get Hannah Newhouse.
No, I'll wait a little while. We just had her on.
Let that simmer for a little
Yeah.
while.
He'll probably call her tonight and say, "Look, hey."
I'm new to this whole stirring the pot thing.
Well, you got two experts on your hands right here.
I'm very well aware of that.
we can stir the pot sitting right here and not really mean it, and he goes off to the arena race and gets in a fight. And we didn't have nothing to do with it.
No, we didn't.
You know, last Friday was National Squirrel Appreciation Day.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that.
All right, well, we'll see you next week.
All right, guys.